previous YouTube videos, I have said that there is no such thing as a perfect game. Such a thing cannot be comprehended, therefore cannot be done. And I actually think I proved myself wrong.
Say what?
And the game that I consider to be perfect, an absolute masterpiece, is a game I got for Christmas from my grandparents called Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity. I have the original Hyrule Warriors, the definitive edition. I admit it's fun. It has those fun bits to it. It's fun to see characters from other game series. It's fun to be able to play as the villains in this game, to fight bosses from other games like King Dodongo, Ocarina of Time, or you get to see Midna again from Twilight Princess. It's a fun game. Plus you get that really sexy intro of Sia, which, in my opinion, kind of makes the game worth it. But honestly, I have to say Age of Calamity is like 100% better than the first Hyrule Warriors. I play this game a lot. Like, I didn't get to play it on Christmas. It took 5 hours to download, and I had other stuff to do, like family stuff, because it was Christmas. So December 26th is when I started playing Age of Calamity, and it's only been a week, and I probably put in at least 40 hours of gameplay on this. I love it. It is amazing. I mean, the story is really fun. It's almost like a prequel to Breath of the Wild. It's awesome just to, like, for this game, the cutscenes in Breath of the Wild, it's awesome. You get to play these characters where you get to have these battles where the cutscenes take place, like in the highlands of Death Mountain, or you get battles in Korok Forest, which are awesome. I just loved the opportunity it took to kind of venture semi-openly and more expand on the already great game that was Breath of the Wild. I love that Age of Calamity added to the storyline, which was awesome. The Legend of Zelda really is no series that is a stranger to time travel. I mean, you got Ocarina of Time, a whole game based on time travel, but with this game, it turns out to kind of be a prequel, in my opinion, to Breath of the Wild. I mean, you started the game out with already Calamity Ganon having his destruction on Hyrule. Like, you got Castle Town in flames, buildings destroyed, things like that. The Guardians are running amok. And then, in Zelda's Tower, this little egg-like Guardian awakens, and after seeing everything that's going on, he has the power to travel back in time to before the whole Calamity Age thing starts. It's cool because he's also your little companion through the whole game with the cutscenes and everything. It's pretty awesome. I like that in this game you have like a little Guardian as a companion. It's pretty awesome. I get why part of the reason people love Hyrule Warriors so much, the definitive edition, is that it's fun to mix and match different characters from different games to do different missions. Like, have Toon Link mixed with Link from this game along with Impa. I get that, but there's a part where so much mashup becomes a headache. Which is something I hated about the first Hyrule Warriors, but with this game, it stays consistent in the game's timeline. Like, the first mission is Link protecting Hyrule from these bokoblins, and at the halfway point, Impa shows up, and Impa is this awesome Sheikah warrior. I mean, it is so much fun to play as her. Like, combat for Link, he's able to, like, fight bokoblins by shooting arrows, multiple arrows at them, throwing bombs at them, things like that. And with Impa, she's able to create clones of herself, do super fast attacks. That's what's really cool. You can use the Sheikah Slate to, like, use stasis, bombs, or anything like Link does in Breath of the Wild, and use that to fight against these Bokoblins. I also like that the environment interacts with it too. I mean, you can blow up trees, you can blow up Bokoblin hideouts. It's awesome when to use like bombs with the Sheikah Slate or ever. But anyway, it's awesome that they haven't like strayed by using characters from other games and bringing them into Breath of the Wild. They've stuck with the Breath of the Wild series, which I love because not only great characters, but a lot of them turn out to be great fighters too, which is awesome. So at a certain point, the little time-traveling guardian is able to bring up a tower, like the ones in Breath of the Wild, and Impa, Link, and Zelda are like, what is this thing? Like, how can it do this? How can it activate, like, deactivate guardians, bring up towers? What is this thing? And so that starts their quest where they head to this character. I love him. He's like Robbie from Tears of the Kingdom, Robbie and Pyrrha. Pyrrha's a lot younger because, again, this is like the prequel to Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. So, like, what I love about Robbie is that he's basically like Elvis Presley. This cutscene explains everything. Like, he's this wannabe rock star, but I love him for it because his character brought a smile to my face.
Devices like the Sheikah Slate, which are amplified by the power of such ancient relics, are but a meager fragment of such technology.
Something that I like about Age of Calamity compared to the first Hyrule Warriors is that understanding a character's strength and leveling up is so much easier to understand in this one. I mean, it's what I love, like, once you complete missions and side quests throughout this game, this map of Hyrule will show up, and there'll be like options to take all these side quests or do these little cooking things for each character that it's set aside for. But also there's like areas where you can choose to fuse weapons to strengthen up your characters. And I just didn't understand how to do that in the first Hyrule Warriors. So, I was playing Hyrule Warriors with weak-ass characters the whole game, and this one, they get stronger weapons, they do side quests, which are really fun on their own, and that's just one of the fun things about this game. What I also like about the side quests is once you complete some of them, others will pop up. Like, there's one called the Meditation Chamber, which it's basically like the hyperbolic time chamber from Dragon Ball. I mean, you can have these characters like Link, Impa, Revali, Zelda. These characters, basically they're in a shrine, and they're fighting all these Bokoblins and Moblins. It's basically the game giving you a chance to get used to controlling your character. Like, throughout the game, you learn all these combos. It's your chance for you to get used to them, which I thought was awesome. Plus, it's a chance for your characters to level up, which is really nice of the game. Super convenient, and really smart idea on Nintendo's part. I did not expect these characters to be fun to play with as much as they did. Like Zelda, like, she was okay in Hyrule Warriors. I know I was so excited to play as her in Hyrule Warriors because this is the first time you actually get a fight as Zelda, play as her, just controlling her, going through Hyrule, which is awesome. But her weapon is the Sheikah Slate, and you can power that thing up, and you can just roll through missions, just slaying as all these Bokoblins and Lizalfos and Moblins will drop dead. Like, each character, once their power bar is filled up, and you press the A button, they'll each have their own signature move. What's awesome about Zelda is that she'll take a picture and, like, the picture, like, it'll peel back, kind of like the film off gum or whatever, like anything sticky, that'll peel back from the picture, and that'll blast the enemy away, kind of like, Like, it's a still frame, and then boom, kill the whatever she took a picture of, which is awesome. Plus, I love you can use enemies' weapons against them. Like, they'll drop their weapons. Like, Wizrobes will drop their little staffs, and you can pick it up. And, like, lightning, fire, ice, you can use that against goblins or whatever enemies there are. I just love how, like, interactive and true to the storyline and gameplay that they stayed with to Breath of the Wild when they created Age of Calamity. They did a masterpiece. They took a masterpiece and extended on it. Plus, one of Zelda's abilities, which is awesome once you learn the combo, is that she can create a giant robotic bomb that will walk around just launching bombs, and for like 5 seconds it'll walk around, then it'll explode, killing everything in its path. Zelda, if you thought she was a badass in the first Hyrule Warriors, play Age of Calamity, because she like takes her badassness and brings it up 10 levels. It is awesome. Alright. Going after the 4 champions to pilot the Divine Beasts in this game. I started off going with the champions, starting with Rivali, because I wanted to see the Rito again, and it's actually a really fun intro they have for Rivali. His character hasn't changed. I mean, he's still an ass that gets on everyone's nerves, that's just full of himself. But the battle to get to him is really fun, going up in the mountains and fighting all the Rito. It's really cool. Plus, like, just the battle with Rivali in the end. I thought at one point, like, once you completely beat him, I guess in the storyline he'll either have like 25% health left before Zelda will end the battle. But then, if you choose to replay the mission again and go after him again, you can completely wipe him out, which is awesome. But yeah, it's fun to just go through the Hebra frontier again, get to Rito Village, fight the Rito along your way, playing as all these characters. I mean, there's certain points when you unlock the other champions, like, you wouldn't expect to ever see a Zora go into the Hebra Mountains to fight a Rito, but once you unlock Mipha, that's what you can do. Same with Daruk. Like, you wouldn't expect him to go to Zora's domain to fight a bunch of bokoblins that were attacking. But once you unlock Daruk, that's what you can do. It's awesome just to take these characters and just take them out of their elements to fight against the Calamity War. That was one of the big selling points about this. Such a fun, live, open world-ish fighting game that's just fun to twist and twerk the story into a point that makes no sense, but it's fun at the same time. Okay, Mipha. Mipha was the second champion I went for to get, and Zora's Domain has a cool story. I mean, it's the first area that you can really see is under attack by the forces of Calamity Ganon, and what sucks, though, is that the Zoras are wimps. Like, they cannot fight. Like, an example would be from Lord of the Rings. You know how Rohan is a kingdom that is attacked by Mordor and Saruman? And the Rohan soldiers actually know how to fight. But then in Return of the King, you got Gondor that's attacked by Sauron with all these orcs and stuff, and the Gondor soldiers are wimps. That's how the Zora soldiers are. Like, you'll be playing as Impa or Zelda or one of the champions, and you'll be fighting them far away, and there'll be a point where you gotta help the Zora captain against these bokoblins or moblins or bosses or whatever, and every 10 seconds you get the message that Zora captain is in trouble, or will say, we gotta fall back soon, we can't handle this, and you get to their point and they're almost on the brink of death. It's awful! I mean, like, I get it, because their main enemy is like electricity, Lizalfos and moblins and Widrobes, but they just can't fight. It's terrible, but what I do love about it is that the third act of the battle, you get a pilot Varuda in it, which is the elephant guardian in it, which is awesome. Divine Beast, not Guardian. It's awesome because, like, you're trampling through Zora's domain, breaking rocks, tearing down stuff, but you're blasting your way through everything! Bokoblins, Moblins, Lynels, you're just blasting them, piloting this robotic elephant. I loved it. At this point, I couldn't believe it was a Zelda game. It was more like a sci-fi, Resident Evil, Lord of the Rings mix thing. It was awesome! I love this part so much, playing as Mipha piloting the beast. That was the highlight point of the Battle of Zora's Domain. Not the actual battle, but piloting the robot elephant to fight all these bokoblins and enemies. Just so cool. If I'm gonna be honest, Daruk was probably the lamest area to do in this game. Like, yeah, it's fun climbing up Death Mountain and playing as Daruk. Like, he kicks ass. Like, his giant weapon can do so much damage against bokoblins and whatever you're fighting. And it's cool that he can roll up to play as Goron, roll up and smash and stuff like that. But I don't know, I didn't enjoy it as much as I did going against the other areas in order to unlock the champions to fight as. Just, like, it was a cool environment, it's cool it has the abilities, certain abilities like raise up magma and use it as a weapon, but just, yeah, his fight wasn't for me. But I will admit there is one point where the mini-boss of his area is a Lava Stalfos, and it's fun to go up against that. Like, they're the same level of hardness as they are in Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. Their hardness didn't change, but yeah, it was still fun to fight. Also, Daruk has the same thing, like, he's going through Death Mountain and he's blasting all these Stalfos, or Staluses, and bokoblins and whatever to get Varudanya out of the crater of Death Mountain. That part was really cool. I love that you can actually pilot the Divine Beasts in this, instead of having to regain control of them and do nothing. And in this game you can pilot them. It's so cool. Nintendo had such a fun idea of actually including that. Fighting in Gerudo Town was awesome. Not only is it just really fun being able to unlock Urbosa's use her lightning ability when the time comes, but this is the first time the game has paired Link and Zelda to fight together as a team. So you got Zelda and Link fighting these Gerudo women outside Gerudo Town, and once you're able to take their strongholds outside the town and inside the town, you go to Urbosa's chambers, where it's an imposter! It turns out to be the leader of the Yaga clan that was disguising himself as Urbosa. So, at that point, I love the cutscene they did with him. I love Master Koga. He makes me laugh so much. At that point, once you're fighting the Yaga clan, and there's a point where you actually unleash a Moldolga outside the city. Something about the fight in Gerudo Town that I wish they had done is if they had sand seals. I mean, it would be so cool to be playing as like Link or Zelda or Urbosa and riding a sand seal. And if you're fighting the Yaga clan, like running through a group of them. And you know, I like Tears of the Kingdom, how they do that twirling thing when they're riding an animal and they have a weapon with them. That'd be so much fun. But sadly, this is before Tears of the Kingdom, and this game came out way before the actual physical copy of Tears of the Kingdom came out. So I don't think Nintendo had the idea of characters being able to do the twirl thing with weapons yet, but it would have been awesome. Anyway, once you finish all the side quests and that, and take on Master Koga at the end of the chapter, it's a really fun battle. I mean, it's hard, Because Master Koga makes copies of himself, and you'll be attacking one copy in the battle, and the real Koga will attack you, vice versa, attack the real Koga, a copy will attack you. It's hard, like, you really gotta be a team player in it, like, learn your environment, learn your team's abilities, each member's abilities. It's hard, but it's a fun battle. Anyway, at the end of it, you get a cool cutscene of who Master Koga's working for, who's this, like, evil sorcerer, who's like a Calamity Ganon worshipper. He's cool. Let's play that cutscene, actually, because it's actually a really cool cutscene for this villain.
Well, if they hadn't interrupted me...
It seems that, as low as my expectations of you were, I was overly optimistic.
What?
Well, no matter. My harbinger, show me the future.
So, once you have all the champions unlocked, you head out with Link, Zelda, the champions, the Little Guardian, and Impa into Korok Forest to find the Master Sword. And it's really fun, because, like, Revali, being the jackass that he is, he gives a little speech how he is better than everyone. He can't believe Link is this one person chosen to protect the princess and save Hyrule. But before you, like, get into the Battle of Korok Forest, you get a pilot, Va Meadow, where it's, like, turns into this Star Fox thing. You're, like, shooting lasers from this giant robotic bird, blasting all these bokoblins and Lynels and stuff, trying to clear out their fortresses from around Korok Forest. It's awesome. It felt like something out of Star Trek or Star Fox, just blasting away all these enemies. It was really fun. And then you get a fun cutscene of finally meeting Hetsu in Korok Forest, and he's guiding you through Korok Forest, where you finally get to actually play as Hetsu. It's pretty awesome. What's nice is that he doesn't start at like a level 5 like all of the other characters. He starts at level 22. And you wouldn't think it, but he's actually really strong in this battle. Like, I take him through Hyrule Field to power him up. He's actually really strong against them in Hyrule Field. He's like a tough little tree spirit, because he'll do battle, and he does battle good. He's actually one of my favorites to play with. Also, one of his cool abilities is he can summon a giant swarm of Koroks to attack enemies, which is really cool. One of the best characters in this game. Anyway, the Korok scene kinda takes a chapter, in my opinion, from Persona 5 Strikers. I mean, in Persona 5 Strikers, you got a bit where this cop's daughter is taken over by evil, and she's like one of the bosses in the games, and the mini-bosses are like shadow versions of yourself that you have to fight. And that's what, Korok Forest does in a battle. Like, gloom is all around the forest, and each time you destroy a gloom copy of one of the 4 champions, bits of gloom will be destroyed. But it's awesome, actually, to see a Revali versus a gloom version of Revali, or different champions versus gloom versions of different champions. I thought that was really cool that was added. Also, once you get to the Master Sword, it's like a cool battle Link taking on all the gloom champions of himself that this evil sorcerer created. And then Link pulls out the Master Sword, and he totally goes Attack on style Levi-like. You know, when Levi destroys that one abnormal in the OVA, or when he destroys the Beast Titan when he first meets him in the 3rd season of Attack on Titan. He totally kicks ass with that Master Sword. It's fun fighting the sorcerer. It's fun going as Link into Hyrule Field in one of the earlier battles and testing him out. It's just awesome after you get the Master Sword playing as Link. I'm powering up any of these Guardians. They each have their strengths to go through this game to play as them. And that's just what makes this game fun. I love it 100%. So much fun. Something I liked about this game that was included that I'm really glad they did, like, Link wasn't bound to this one uniform. Like, you know, in Breath of the Wild and, well, like any Legend of Zelda games, he can change clothes. But they all have, like, a theme to them. But in Breath of the Wild, Attack on Titan, he can mix and match clothes. You know what I'm talking about if you played these games. Anyway, they did not forget about it in this game. Like, if you complete side quests or main missions, Link will acquire clothing. Like, if you complete the forest, unlock Valley, you'll be able to get the snow-quilt trousers. Or if you do side quests with your Bosa, you'll get different pants that'll help Link stay cool in the heat. Things like that. It's awesome that you get to change his wardrobe around to go on to different missions. And what I also liked about this is that I kinda wish that other characters had a variety of weapons. Like, Zelda only uses the Sheikah Slate, Imp only uses like a katana, the 4 champions use their weapons. Link's like the only one that can use different weapons. But it's pretty cool. I mean, different abilities, like different cutscenes of how he uses weapons are awesome. Like, the way they use his spear is different from the way he'll use a two-handed blade. I like that sometimes when you use the two-handed blade, it'll actually show him taking a snack to regain health in the middle of a battle. I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, I like different experiments they did with Link throughout this game. I thought that was a pretty fun thing that they added to it. There is just so much more of this video game that I want to talk about, but I can't because I feel like if I do, we'll make this video like over half an hour long. And I don't know about you guys, but if I see a YouTube video is like at least 40 minutes or more, I'm not gonna watch it. I'll get bored doing it. I'll just click away. And I just don't want to drag it on. So if you've played this game, let me know if you love it as much as I have, or if you haven't, I hope this video inspired you to go play it. And I hope you love it as much as I do, because it's just an awesome game. That's what I have to say. I love it, personally. Alright guys, that is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far in the video, please give the video a thumbs up. Also, leave a comment on what you think was better, the original Hyrule Warriors or Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. Also, what you think is better between Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. Alright guys, that's it. Please subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you next time. Have a good day.